Van Wyck Elementary. Van Wyck would like to thank all parents and staff for being to support our efforts by following all health and safety protocols throughout our recent. It has not only minimized cases but also exposure to illness and in turn keeps us all able to come to school. We want to give a very special thank you to our school custodians, Mr. Octavio Ortega and Mr. and all school custodians who are working so diligently to clean and sanitize the school. October 2nd is School Custodian Appreciation Day, and the tireless efforts should not go unnoticed at Van Wyck, Van Wyck ASB is holding elections for its class officers. We look forward to our school and white election on October 1st. Our school tech council would like to welcome Mr. Matthew Huerta and Ms. Berta Romero as its newest members. We look forward to creating and monitoring a wonderful school plan with your input and support. Please join us for coffee with the principal this Friday, October 1st at 9 a.m. right after our family circle. It will be both virtual and in person in our cafeteria. Link will be posted on Class Dojo and our school website. Our announcements for Don Julian Elementary. Don Julian School held their ELAC and school site council meetings and are happy to see new parents becoming involved. We held our first student assembly on Friday, September 24th to recognize students' achievement and development of good character. Our students are learning the meaning of being trustworthy through teacher lessons and morning announcements. Our PTA leadership is happy to announce we met our 100-member milestone. Our next goal is to double our membership. We invite you to join, just stop by our front office. Our announcements for Edgewood Academy. Edgewood Academy had a presentation on September 24th from Virgin Orbit, one of the most recognizable satellite launching organizations in the world. The volunteer employees of the organization talk to students remotely on how satellites are built, how they go up in the air, why space exploration is important, and types of careers people can have in engineering and sciences. After the 45-minute presentation, students asked very good questions of the presenters, including how much money does it cost to fuel a space rocket to go into space? Is it possible for a rocket to run out of fuel while in the air or space? Edgewood will be working with Virgin Orbit to bring presentations in person next semester. Students and staff at Edgewood Academy are getting ready for a school-wide celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month by putting together presentations which can be visited by parents, district, and board members on October 8th. Our announcements for Bassett High School. Bassett High School would like to thank all athletes who take time out of the morning to get COVID tested every Monday before class starts. It's our top priority to keep our students safe when coming in contact with other schools. Last week, our volleyball team defeated both La Puente and Pomona, and our football team defeated Gary High School. The next volleyball game will be against Phoenicia on Wednesday. Homecoming is right around the corner, as well as Homecoming Spirit Week, and our Olies are so thrilled. Oli tickets are being handed out to students who are seen doing good deeds throughout the day, being respectful, helping others, and setting a great example. At the end of the week, these Oli tickets will be put in a raffle box to win a variety of prizes like backpacks, basket merch, etc. Our outstanding students of the month for August are in the ninth grade, Pedro Choa, Eileen Garcia, Andrea Camatoy. In the 10th grade, Janji Chen, Jeanette Lopez, Cruz Alvarado. In the 11th grade, Fat Fong, Samantha Castellanos, and in the 12th grade, Katia Nava and Moises Baez. Great job, great work, Oli. That concludes our announcement.
No, we do not.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kennard, and I'd like to welcome you tonight on behalf of Dr. Alvarez, who regrets he is not able to be here with us tonight. We want to thank everybody for their continued support and service. And he would also like to request a special board meeting, and he'll be in contact with you very soon about that.
Good evening. So we do have a presentation that will take you through. My name is Genaro Bugarin. I am a Director of Energy Innovation at the Energy Coalition. It's a nonprofit. We've been working with Dr. Alvarez and staff on a couple of proposals, and today's presentation is to provide you with an overview of that information. So I don't know if, okay, we'll have that presentation. And so with me today is my colleague Alex Rickliff. So he will speak to one of the projects, and I'll let him introduce that. Also with me today is Green Commuter, staff from Green Commuter. Naveed will speak to the second project. At a high level, let me introduce the Bassett project. We call it Bassett because it's short and a nice acronym, but it is the Bassett Avocado Heights Advanced Energy Community. And if I can go to the next slide. This is a project this is our phase 2 of the grant project. It is a California Energy Commission awarded project through a competitive solicitation process. And phase 1 was led by UCLA and took place between 2015 and 2018. We are in phase 2. We were competitively, we provided a proposal through the process in 2018 to 2020, and we're just launching it, beginning this planning stage. I recognize that time is limited, and we do have, I believe, 15 minutes for our entire presentation. And so I'm going to keep it short and also let you know that there are a lot of slides for context and reference that you can look at later. Next slide. So essentially, the Bassett Avocado Heights is looking to take what we would consider perhaps an underserved community or community where there's needs for equity and contribution to transform the community from an energy perspective to an advanced energy community. And so we want to make sure that people have access to decentralized, clean and affordable clean energy. And the project features include a number of components that allow that to take place. Next slide. At the end of the day, we're looking to save people money, to improve air quality and empower the community through the actions and the activities that they can take part of. Next slide. There are a number of organizations. We believe that this is community and nonprofits coming together to do something good and to empower the community. So not to spend time on this slide, but just to say that there are a number of stakeholders all supporting the project, and we're excited to bring it to your attention and to explain to you a little bit about the role that the Bassett Unified School District can play into that. High-level timeline, we're picked up last year. We're engaged in operation and planning this year, and we're looking to do some installation of a number of systems next year and then close out in 2024, 2025. Next slide, please. This is a great summary of just the features of the project. We're going to be installing a community solar project that will bring benefits to the community in the sense of 20% discount electricity to their utility bills. We're doing air quality monitoring. You might have seen some of the cars from the company called Aclama. They're just completing a 3-month survey of the air quality and ambient air quality in the area. We're doing an energy hub that will serve as resiliency for the community in the cases of power outages. And so that's something that you'll hear from today from Alex. We're doing advanced homes where there's people that will have no cost solar, battery storage, and other technologies. And then Green Commuter today is here to speak to you about clean commuters, which is adding EV chargers and mobility services to the community so that they can have access to the latest in mobility. Next slide. I'm going to leave it here. Maybe you can fast forward a couple of slides. One more time. Just in the interest of time, we'll skip this slide, that one as well, and that one as well. And this is where I'm going to transition to Alex to introduce you to the proposal for one of the school sites to turn into a resiliency hub to benefit the community.
Great. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So if we can go to the next slide. What we're going to do today is introduce a solar PV and battery storage project that we discussed with Dr. Alvarez and trying to present to the school district. We could go to the next slide. We are working with Pivot Energy to develop a solar battery storage project that can provide significant bill savings for the school district, and also provide backup power opportunities. Go to the next slide. So Pivot Energy is an experienced solar developer located out of Colorado. They're a partner of this project. Go to the next slide. So I want to talk about that. We've done a pretty deep review of all of the Bassett Unified School District sites. And kind of after our review and discussion with Dr. Alvarez, we ended up prioritizing two schools, which would be Van Wyck Elementary School and Sunkist Elementary School. Go to the next slide. The kind of proposed solar layout would be for Van Wyck, we proposed two car canopy solar systems, which are essentially provide shade for cars and have solar PV systems on top that can produce energy. And for Sunkist Elementary, it was a combination of rooftop solar. After some discussion and kind of further analysis, we decided to prioritize Van Wyck Elementary School. The big reason for that is that there's not a lot of they're exempt from state environmental review, and so going with the car canopies to the carports was a much more express way to develop. So with Van Wyck, the solar would offset 100% of the school's annual electricity consumption. There would also be a battery storage system, which would be the size of about a small storage unit. That would provide two features. One would be backup power, which means it would would remain fully charged to provide power in cases of emergency or power outages. And there would be another component that would be used to deliver energy to provide energy savings or bill savings for the school district. Go to the next slide. So we've done a first round of financial estimates for the project, and this system would provide an immediate savings for the school district, which 25% savings for Van Wyck's annual electricity consumption. We would also be leveraging the project grant funding that we have, which would significantly reduce the cost of the project. The way the project would be structured, there'd be no upfront cost, no maintenance cost. All the maintenance would be performed by Pivot Energy. There would be a zero price escalator. There would be a long-term contract to lock in these prices. Go to the next slide. So this is kind of shows the school's current energy consumption, which is the dotted line at the top, which we expect to increase every year as electricity prices increase, and there being more. We also expect there to be more saving or more electricity consumption. But with this system, there would be the solid blue line represents what the annual utility bills would be for the school for Bassett. So there's a significant amount of savings that continue to increase every year. And really with this long-term contract, we're getting costs kind of locked in now, which can really benefit the school district as electricity prices. Go to the next slide. So, we're, kind of our next steps here is, to do a site visit and, work with the school district to develop an initial contract and then kind of continue the discussion. So for now, we really just wanted to explain the project and kind of explain it to the board so we can kind of move forward with the next step. But I know time is of the essence, so I'm going to pass this over to Green Commuter to talk about the EV charging and
I'll just step in for a second to introduce a couple of the slides. If you fast forward, please. So go past that. And please continue to skip the slides. Go ahead. Forward. We can move forward to the next slide. One more time. So essentially, if you can keep going forward, essentially what this is a combination of fast charging stations, 2 of those, and mobility services provided by 2 zero emissions vans that Naveed will speak to. So with the next slide, please. Same background here. This is part of the grant, part of the project. The outcome of what we're looking to do is to do mainly 2 things. One van is for a van pool. The other van will be microtransit and help people go get to places. Next slide. We can skip this slide as well. So the notion of clean commuters is that people will have access to transportation. One of the reasons why we chose the van is that we want to make sure that families can actually go to places and choose something other than their mobility vehicle or their vehicle. This is one way to address transportation options and transportation electrification. Next slide. So this is where I'm going to pass it on to Naveed to explain the 2 services that will be available to the public.
Hi, so Vanpool will be a service provided to the community to help transport people to work. It's a group that works together, originates in the community, typically groups of 5 to 10 individuals, which removes 5 to 10 vehicles and gas polluting vehicles off the road. And then microtransit will be a service that will be provided to the community to help them get around. There'll be a professional driver hired. They'll be available and to connect them to different transit stops and to also connect them to grocery stores and schools and whatever other essential places that they need to be. Next slide. So the recommended site based on some site visits is Don Julian Elementary School to install 2 DC fast chargers. They're electric vehicle fast chargers. This is just a map. Okay, thank you. And some of the benefits are that the students and staff will have convenient charging access, as well as microtransit van that could potentially help transport some of the students to the schools, improve air quality, less traffic, and as well as 5 cents per kilowatt revenue share that goes directly to the district for from the electricity dispensed by the chargers. And there's no risk, no cost associated with electricity. We separately meter the electricity that's used by the chargers. Next slide.
So that concludes the presentation of the 2 projects. if time permits, we're happy to take questions from the board.
We're talking about van pooling. It says that they would, commuters would take turns being the driver. How is the insurance covered in that situation?
Great question. So as a van pool provider with LA Metro, we're required to provide insurance, and maintenance and everything is covered as part of the van pool.
The vehicle is covered.
Yes, as well as the passengers.
And then on the individual Uber type driver, what would be the cost to the public for using that service?
Yeah, so essentially it will be free for a period of time, and as more and more usage, is happens with the microtransit, then there will be a small fee introduced over time.
What are you looking at? What kind of time?
It's mostly dependent on how many people use the service. So if 1,000 people use the service in a month, then we'll have to increase. So we have the same grant funds that are used by this grant to help provide subsidies for the community to make it affordable.
In the same time?
Exactly.
So solar panels and things like that. But I do know that some of our campuses do have solar panels, and unfortunately, they're not working as they should. So what is the difference between what you're offering versus what we currently have? And cost-wise, what would be the cost of the district?
Yes, thank you for that question. It's, we don't have any insights to your current agreements and costs, but I do know that costs have, generally speaking, have come down, and so perhaps the proposed cost at one point in time in the past would have, were higher. Would the agreement that is being proposed from Pivot Energy is a no escalation power purchase agreement where the rate that they would set on a kilowatt hour basis would be flat for the entire time. And so from that perspective, it's a flat fee, or it's a known and predictable cost going forward.
Thank you. Do you know what that flat fee is, or what is the rate that it's going to be at?
Yes, based on our preliminary analysis, and we haven't done all of the analysis, but we're modeling something like 14 cents per kilowatt hour. And that is because it is some of the costs are being paid for through the grant from the state. And so we're able to essentially de-risk the project and lower the initial cost so that Pivot Energy can provide a rate that can make sense for the entirety. The initial numbers we had was if a commercial developer was to come with that same offer in the same project, the rate would be something like 47 cents. So we're able to knock down 30 cents per kilowatt.
And the EV charger that you're proposing to put over at DJ, that would be open to community.
Right. Yes.
So we can all drive our Teslas there.
All right.
Um,
you have is really draconian. And the district wasn't loud and clear when they changed it. And there's still community members out there saying, you know, I'm gonna find the link so I can make public comment online. And as of October 1st, I understand it's gonna be illegal. So I look forward to you changing that rule. And one of those community members that couldn't be here tonight asked me to read her statement. And she said, "Good evening to all. I want to speak today about some current concerns of parents and community here in Bassett Unified Schools that involve the movement of some teachers from elementary schools to Torch Middle School. I question the board, how was this decision made to move the teachers to fill the needed positions at Torch, and which role did the union president play in the decision? I want to make something very clear. The majority of the Bassett teachers are excellent and number one in my eyes, but there's a few that unfortunately are giving the great teachers a bad name. Our students' education needs to be a priority. They don't have a union to fight for their rights. Board members, I want to remind you, we're elected to advocate for the children. Thank you, Anna Morales. And again, that rule needs to be changed because, you know, like I said, there's probably people out here in the community that are doing what I was doing last week, trying to find the link, and not realizing we made all these changes and didn't really let us know.
The stroke was massive. It caused a lot of brain damage. I had in June and in the year 2016, I had a major stroke, then the massive stroke in June, and then right behind it, I had the third stroke, which affected my left eye. So I'm blind in my left eye, I'm blurred in my right eye. So I may not move properly, but I'm trying to do the best I can in speaking. That's what the book is all about. That's why I was able to inspire other people who've had strokes and what I'm able to accomplish because they're still trying to go through that. So what I'm trying to do too as well is show how the students can still accomplish things even though they might have some difficulties in the beginning. That's what the book is all about. And what I want to do, get your permission to where I can do something like a book fair. And there's no cost because my foundation will pay for everything. So I just have to order the books. And then at that point, then the books can be done either a book fair or meeting with some of the students in a discussion aspect of what I've gone through. Now, let me explain that part. I've gone through the Army. I'm retired, as it says. And that says I stuck to what I needed to do. I have a broken back. I've had a broken neck. That's why I had to be surgically repaired from the VA hospital in San Francisco, as well as other types of ailments. Then the stroke happened, like I said, because I had a tumor in the heart. and remove the tumor. That way I can do things. more effectively. I'm just looking to get your approval. If you allow that, then what will happen when you leave it? uh, we can reconvene again sometime next month in regards to knowing that it's approved, and then I can start be able to put up what I can do for the students to Bassett. I graduated here in 1975. Thank you.
Good evening, Bassett community. I hope everyone is doing well. Since the last board meeting, I really would like to echo the sentiment of one of our community members that was read by Ms. Santos. Since the last board meeting, I have received community concerns regarding what is happening at Torch as far as with the teachers and assignments and things like that. And I do concur, Bassett, here at Bassett, we have some great teachers and some great staff. Okay, so, but tonight I do want to focus and give a special shout out to the teachers and staff at Torch that are keeping it together. Your passion and dedication to our students is very much appreciated. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Ms. Orantes and Ms. Corrine for stepping up to take a class. It is during these difficult times when we must stand together to put the needs of the students first. Okay, because they're the reason we are here. Students have to be priority for us, and their needs need to be met. So during also, I'd like to, so hopefully we can come together and we can get Torch back up and running and make sure that everything is great. Our students, their lunch program, whatever's going on with their classes, and how can we best support students, because that's what it's all about. So I also would like to announce the Pasadena, I forwarded this information to the district, but Pasadena Tournament of Roses in partnership with the Mexican Consulate in Los Angeles and the Lucille and Edward Roybal are hosting the Dia de los Muertos art competition. As a reminder, entries are due by October 8th. I did forward that information to the district. Also, I had my first meeting with LOXTA, which is Los Angeles County School Trustees Association. It was really great. We had it on September 20th. Ms. Santos was actually there too as well. Thank you, Ms. Santos. We received a legislative update from the California State Senator Connie Leyva, which was very interesting, the funding and everything that's happening there. That's really good. We also had a presentation, something to like about electric buses. So in the future of electric buses. So it's really exciting to see that Don Julian is going to have a charging station. So maybe we'll be able to charge our buses and things like that. Once again, I'm here to serve our students and our community. If there's anything I can do to help, just please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much, Bassett.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear. Fine. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank people that did comment. Thank you for the book, Mr. Cook. And I also feel that we, as a reminder, we need to be reminded by the community that we are here for the students, and that's our priority, our students. So I want to thank the teachers that did step up and move to Torch. A lot of them have moved to Don Julian. A lot of the Torch teachers went to Don Julian because they started their K-8 and they needed the teachers. But, thank the teachers that stepped up. Torch right now is a self-contained class. It's something new that they're trying and working, and hopefully it will give us something better. They're trying to bring in the STEM programs. So we could attract more students, and our students could be more qualified to compete with other students at any other district. That's the whole process of this district, where we're going. We are slowly going up, like I said before, but we are going up. We're going in the right direction. It took us a lot of years to get down. So it's gonna take us quite a few to get up, but we are going in the right direction. And I want to thank all the administration and our team back here for the technology and everything and helping us with all the things that are going on. So thank you all for working so hard for our students. I know it's not easy and you're all multitasking, doing more than one thing at a time, but thank you. I also want to announce that St. Louis of France and Bassett Unified School District and Mont Sac and Hilda Solis's office in LA County are sponsoring to have a clinic at St. Louis of France on October the 17th for vaccinations, COVID vaccines. It will start at 8:30 and end at 2. They will have free entertainment and free food for all. And there will be like a little fair and outreach program on domestic violence and LA County agencies that you could ask assistance from. So please, if you're already vaccinated, that's fine. Attend it and still go and get the information that is given to us and join. There's a band, a group that calls Sierra that will be playing there for a while. So good night, everybody, and thank you for attending.
Good evening, Bassett community. As we struggle to get back to normal, we need to realize that normal has changed. Let's look at this as an opportunity to get back to better than normal. Let's not look back, let's move ahead. That being said, I'd like to reiterate my focus on student advocacy, their education, their safety, and the future of the children, our community, and the district. Congratulations to the high school for the teams that took the lead and won. To every student of the month, this is not an easy time getting back to school, and we have students that were awarded Student of the Month. That's outstanding. To all the volunteers that stepped up and took a school site council position, thank you so much, parents. And thank you to our custodians this coming weekend, because this is all about what you're doing, guys. You're keeping us safe. I'm sorry, I just had a brain cloud there. Let's no longer catch up. Let's take the lead. This goes to moving forward in every single area. Again, that being said, I'd like to volunteer my services. Now, in years past, I volunteered to be a coach for the Science Olympiad with the county participation, only to be ignored by people pre-Dr. Alvarez and pre our current cabinet. But now I'd like to volunteer my services to moderate a drama club at the high school after school. Bassett students used to put on great shows, even Shakespeare. We still have an entire population of students who would greatly benefit from this kind of creative outlet. As a credentialed teacher, I hope that this will be allowed. Now, not to be redundant, but that being said, I'd like to say, stay safe, get vaccinated if you can, and have a great night. I move that we just take action.
Aye.
Aye. So
I would like to, pull out, item 15.
I'd like to amend my motion.
Item 15.
I'd like to amend the motion to approve everything except item 2.
Second. Aye.
Aye. So moved. Second.
I just want an explanation. That's why we're making an MOU understanding with the Department of Public Social Services, what the information is going to be.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. We did have an opportunity to discuss that prior to our meeting. And we did get an answer regarding that MOU, and it is an understanding, and I'll ask Ms. Raji to further the explanation if needed. But at this point, it is an agreement for to have our students to have our, Mr. Raji, can you help me out with that explanation, please?
Good evening, board. So basically, this MOU is to, let me give you what we are doing currently without the MOU. So for the students, unduplicated people count to identify, how many students are year students or free and reduced and foster youth and all of those data. We normally download the direct certification, like those who are getting government assistance, those families, we download through our internal database from CalPADS, and then we use the data. But then sometimes what happens is your data, for example, my name is Santa. In our database, it is SANTA. In the Department of Social Services website, it is SANTHA. So when we try to download the data, we are not 100% claiming all the students for free and reduced income. So that's why all the school districts have this MOU. What we do is we go there, okay, all the students, whoever is not matching, then we can go to this website and check whether the student is marked as free and reduced. If it is, then we can claim that student. We don't need an income verification form. And we get additional dollars in concentration supplemental grant, like around $3,000 to $4,000 we get per student if they're eligible. That's why I think this one will validate our data and then improve our chances of getting more revenue, because we are accurately, picking up all the data that we need to claim our supplemental concentration grant. That's why this MOU was added.
So that means, my understanding is we get the information also from them on the homeless and foster youth. So they're not counted twice,
No, yes,
and we don't have to go out to look for the information.
yes,
Now, the information that you get, everybody gets a free lunch, right?
everybody gets a free lunch, but for you to claim unduplicated people count and to claim a student for additional supplemental concentration grant, we have to have this alternative income verification form, or they should have been directly certified by DPSS as getting these government assistance.
So is this state money? Funding?
Yes,
Okay, so it's to get more state money?
yes.
State funding,
Yes.
okay. I got it.
Did I answer?
Yeah, no, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr.
And the
G.
information that is passed on is confidential
Yes, it is.
between, okay.
It's only very few people who have access to the database, and they have to sign a privacy
Uh-huh.
document. If you see in that MOU at the last few pages, they have to give a lot of guarantee that they will not use certain form, and there is some security measures that we have. It's, yeah, it's a protected information. We are careful about that.
Okay. It just threw me off because they had some flyers on the baby surrender law and all these other things that, I think, what are we saying? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It was that direct certification that that was a term that I was really looking for. Thank you so much for that.
I make a motion to.
A second.
Second. Aye.
Aye.